Okay, hello there. Originally, I was going to possibly do this video last night, but due to the circumstances that happened in Harlem, I had to wait until tomorrow. And I am going to be taping this week's Andy Plays as soon as I'm done with this video because it has to do with the environment. And obviously, if something is affecting the parks in New York City, you know I'm going to cover it. And this is, of course, too personal for yours truly, as this affects a park that I love very much in the city, as this is at McCarren Park in the Williamsburg section of Brooklyn. And as soon as I saw this on Channel 7, I said to myself, let me do research. Obviously, if you go on Channel 1's news page, let's just take a look at their news page for a second. I mean, obviously, you know they're going to cover the officer, but let's take a look at the Brooklyn section and see if they have anything about McCarren Park. Because I'm only curious to see if they have something about it. No, they don't. So, you would think that they would have something in the around Brooklyn section, but they don't, because they just don't care. It seems Channel 1 doesn't care about the environment. So, there's proof right there. So, what's going on at McCarren Park, you may be wondering. And this was, of course, posted on the Green Pointers website because, obviously, a lot of people also come from Greenpoint, Brooklyn. And you do have people who come from Queens, yours truly, but the people who do come from Queens do come from Long Island City, most cases. So, a disease called Leptospirosis has been found in McCarren Park. Now, this is affecting the dog run, and obviously, as soon as I saw this, it just made me very upset. You know, to think that you're bringing your own dog to the park for a little bit of fun, and then all of a sudden, your dog gets sick, and one dog was even put down because of this. Yeah, that's how disturbing this is. I mean, if I still had Teddy, and I brought him to Brooklyn to play with the other dogs, and all of a sudden, you know, my big fella got sick, you know how upset I would be? I would just be devastated. Okay, so let's see what this article says. And I'll put this in the description below because, again, this is a community website for the Greenpoint Williamsburg section. And there are holes in the dog park. And I'll show you in the Channel 7 video later on, because Channel 7 spent 2 minutes actually covering it, and I'll give Channel 7 credit. Alright. So, an outbreak of leptospirosis, a disease that can be deadly to dogs, has been confirmed in Williamsburg. According to New York City Council member Lincoln Ressler, at least 2 dogs have died, and again, one of them was put down. However, through Buddy's Dog Den, reports that number could be as high as 4. Oh, that's just awful. The disease has been linked to the dog run in McCarren Park. Darky, a local dog trainer, shared his experience in dealing with the disease on Instagram. Unfortunately, Oreo, a dog that he worked with throughout the pandemic, succumbed to the disease after only a short time. Dakari stressed how serious this disease can be and how quickly it can affect dogs. So this was, yes, this is, I recognize this dog. This dog was on Channel 7. So let's take a look at the adorable pooch that was put down, because, again, just very disturbing. You know, it's like the city, it's just misneglecting some of the parks most cases. You know, that's the problem. Sorry you had to see that. So, for dogs, leptospirosis can lead to kidney disease, meningitis, inflammation of the membrane around the brain, and spinal cord liver failure, respiratory disease, and even death, unfortunately. And again, this mostly affects dogs. So, again, I'm glad that this Instagram user called out the Parks Department because, as I just said, it seems the Parks Department is misneglecting, the maintenance and care. And, what if this becomes more of a widespread issue throughout the city? Okay, so Oreo contracted leptospirosis. He was there at the park around noon. By 4 p.m., he changed. It was a matter of 4 hours before he was vomiting, pale, and had diarrhea. He couldn't hold any food or water, he told Greenpointers. By the next day, the disease worsened and Oreo was eventually put down. The Kari feels that the conditions at dog runs in North Brooklyn are generally unsanitary and that the rat problem is through the roof. Rats can carry and spread leptospirosis as well as other diseases. So that's what Channel 7 was discussing last night. Lecari says the problem with McCarren Park is that over the last 7 years, there's always been an outbreak, whether it's Giardia or now this. So this is an experienced dog trainer that's seeing the problems of the parks not being properly maintained in the city. Okay, so here we go. So more importantly now, according to Buddy's Dog Den, they're encouraging that the owners give their dogs water. So that's very important to note that. Okay, so Murray said, other neighbors shared their concerns about the conditions at local dog runs. We don't have appropriate spaces for the number of dogs here. We have only 3 tiny dog runs for the entire neighborhood. They are unsafe, dirty, and too small. Leptospirosis in dogs is a bacteria infection that spreads through the bloodstream, according to Pet MD. Dogs can get leptospirosis from puddles or body of water that carry urine from infected wildlife. The bacteria infiltrate a dog's body by burrowing into their skin. Wow, then look at this. We're so behind on the times because we're so obsessed with this pandemic. New York City saw its highest ever amount of recorded leptospirosis according to Forbes. You just cannot make this stuff up. I mean, I've been only to Bryant Park and Central Park in the past year. I don't know how many dogs could have been affected walking through those parks. Yes, so disease can affect both dogs and humans. Though the risk of exposure from pets is low, it is important to avoid coming into contact with your dog's urine or letting them lick you if your dog is affected. So, this is a very rare disease according to Channel 7. So there is thankfully a vaccine for leptospirosis, and trust me, after I read this, if I ever get another puppy, one thing's for sure, I am definitely making sure my puppy gets vaccinated for leptospirosis because I just don't want to imagine going through this. Alright, so let's go to the Channel 7 video, and then we will wrap this up. So I'm trying to find the part of the video where they show the rat holes. Let's see, are they around here somewhere? Let's see. Try to fast forward. And let me just make sure my desktop audio is on mute.
Look around the park, there's rat holes everywhere around the dog park.
They've complained, but residents say the city isn't addressing the problem so far. Vets, though, are getting the word out. Boone's vet sent out an email.
They more or less just kind of told us.
Disgusting. If you look around the park, there's rat holes everywhere around the dog park.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd have to see it for myself. And I'm obviously going to be very careful in this area now. Because I'm just, again, just disturbed. Very, very disturbed. So let's take a look and see if we can find the area. So let me see. I think this is the dog run. It's somewhere around here. I can't tell from this angle. But it's somewhere around this area. See if we can move up a little bit. Oh yeah, this is it right here. I mean, it's very possible that rats could just... look how low this gate is. It's very possible a rat could just sneak through here. It's very, very possible. You know... And again, you know Channel 1's not going to cover this because, again, they just don't seem to care about the environment. So, there you go. Channel 1 shows their true colors yet again. Not covering... You know, their demographic technically covers Williamsburg. In theory. So, you would think that they would cover this? No. No. So it just shows that Channel 1 doesn't care. They don't care. So I'm sorry for making a rant at the end, but, you know, I am going to care if the parks are affected. Because I'm just disturbed. I am very disturbed now. I'm very worried for these pets. You know, they could just go into McCarren Park and then now they can get sick from leptospirosis. And as I said, if I get another puppy, I am making sure my puppy gets vaccinated for leptospirosis. Because, again, I don't want to have to go through this. I mean, thankfully, you know, Teddy had his own backyard. I wasn't worried that I ever had to have to bring a big dog like that to a dog run. Because he had his own private area. But I'm not taking any chances now. I'm not. And if you get a dog, seriously consider talking to your vet about the vaccine for leptospirosis. Because you don't want to have to go through the trauma and devastation of having your dog get sick. And that's what I'm going to say at the end of this video. And, you know, maybe I'll do a video about this in the future from McCarren Park. I mean, thankfully I can take the 7 train to Court Square and then get to Brooklyn that way. But that's going to do it for this video. Keep your pets safe and thank you for watching.